And it's obvious that Elevate are prepared in more ways than one. Just look at the way that they're able to completely pull out these drafts that no other teams would even want to bother trying to attempt. You tell a team, hey, by the way, we're going to run Kuang ADC because we think that it's going to be what will win for a best-of-5 series. Would you be behind that?
No, I would not personally want to go for it. I'm sure that Jelly, on the other hand, wouldn't want to go for that either. You know, playing the Odin in game number 3 did a great job controlling a lot of space, making sure that Delta Marine was sitting really comfortable in the backline in the early stages, diving with the Bird Bomb, doing a lot of damage out of your Odin support. That's something that you really want to get the ball rolling for.
Jelly actually, with this Odin support, probably did one of the best jobs I've ever seen a support play for Odin, because even though Odin is typically just regarded as, you just turn into a ring bot, that's all you are. You press for, you drop your ultimate to the best of your ability and hope that everything's going to work out and your team's going to have the follow-up damage. But unfortunately for Jelly and the rest of Obey Alliance, they were just unable to finally lock it all down, and Elevate just kept pressuring, and they had the ability to keep pressuring because Checo, he also opted for the blink on the Kuang, and that just ultimately factored into the win. But game number 4, and this could be the make it or break it point. It's all on the line right now for Obey Alliance, because this is only an opportunity for them to potentially stretch this to a 5-game series. They don't have any openings for mistakes right now.
No flexibility on the side of the world defending champions, Obey Alliance. A lot of momentum with Elevate as they won their 2 previous games, and with the previous loss for Obey, they opt for the first pick yet again. They really are worried about this Morrigan. They feel like despite the Kuang doing a lot of damage, Morrigan was doing even more damage, going for different kind of god selections, and probably Morrigan was the staple to allow Elevate to orchestrate that kind of composition.
Oh, definitely, because of the fact that Dr. L was able to burn actives so frequently on the side of Obey Alliance. That's why we saw Delta Marine, Air Cougar, myflin being able to get picked off by the Kuang run by Checo. Just, if you don't have an Aegis or your beads available, I mean, you're just free game.
You're just donezo at that point. Willish and Susano, 2 junglers targeted against Obey Alliance, but myflin has been known to play the Cabrakan every now and then. It's something that he's not unfamiliar with.
And the Cabrakan being such a flexibility option for Obey, I think, is a really important aspect. Immediately, though, Elevate, they just want to stick to what's been working out for them in that solo lane aspect. Bellona all day long, and I mean, if it works, it works.
Absolutely. delnyy very comfortable on this god. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're diving in the backline with that Eagles rally. You're scourging Air Cougar to make him practically useless for about 2 seconds or so, or maybe even forcing the beads just to throw out some in-hands. And Zeus in the mid lane for Elevate is going to be doing a lot of control damage, and anytime Cabrakan gets initiated or starts forcing the issue here, Zeus is just going to return that much more damage.
But do you really want to be a Zeus facing off against that Cabrakan? I mean, we already saw today, even just a couple of games earlier, what happens when Cabrakan goes off against the Zeus.
As long as there's more protection and peel for the Zeus. You know, Kenshin could run the Khepri again, potentially. Maybe look for some more options to get a Odin on the side of Elevate to synergize with the Zeus mid, or also to lock out members of Obey Alliance to get in position to follow up after the Cabrakan blinks in.
I think I would prefer to see Elevate stray away from the Odin compositions, though. It doesn't seem like it's really had too much succession so far, and it'd just be better ultimately to look for a different style of team fight rather than trying to base everything around the ring, because if you can't pull anything or make anything happen within that ring, then you're trying to force a hard reset against a team that could potentially just have the ability to keep engaging on you, which is it was the issue that Obey Alliance actually ran into in the last game.
Second Guardian locked in for Obey Alliance is going to be the Sylvanus, having a little sustain now for Obey with those Wisps. Medusa yet again for Air Cougar, having some more aggression in that duo lane against MichaelCheco. It's going to be curious to see what's the direction that this Kuang player is going to go for.
And the Khepri yet again for Mr. Kenshin over there, feeling cool, calm, and collected on the love bug.
Just cool as a cucumber, you know? It could be a cucumber moisturizer flavor.
You are really
I need to
fixated
know.
on his gamer grip hands. I'm like fairly certain that it's like a grip kind of moisturizer thing that you use for like when your hands sweat. That way it makes
Absolutely.
sure that you're not sliding around, I think, on your sticks and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you got to make sure that if you're going to be playing Khepri, you don't play that summer Khepri, because that's a very slippery one with the butter.
And now food on the mind as well, obviously, for Tolly over here. But what kind of direction? We already know that Elevate have been locking in the Khepri users in Bellona. Would you expect to see Checo running another unconventional ADC such as Kuang?
Without the Morrigan available, it would be a little bit too surprising to see Kuang for the second time in a row. It made sense when you had Neith and the Morrigan, but just in a straight-up 1v1 encounter against a physical Hunter, there's too much space control for the Hunter to be able to poke out the Kuang, so I don't necessarily expect Checo to go for the same strategy 2 games in a row here.
You can tell Elevate don't want to allow Delta Marine any opportunities to run Scylla 2 games in a row, though, because even though they did falter at the end there, Delta Marine on that Scylla was an absolute force to be reckoned with. Just so much damage from the Crush and the Sikkim. It's nothing that you want to deal with, and considering how much of a game-changing factor Scylla can provide, better to just take it away.
Well, it did actually favor Elevate once the Morrigan transformed into the Scylla, so it was a Scylla versus Scylla, monster versus monster. That was quite a sight to see, but not going to have that available to Delta Marine. Chang'e Nemesis taken away by Obey Alliance, Elevate with the next pick.
And I do have to ask you, Tolly, considering that was such a long game, and these games already today have been just drawn out to the fullest extent for the most part, would you say that Elevate has a pretty big advantage at this point in time, considering they found themselves as the victors to a game they were down so far in?
Absolutely, Taco, because Obey Alliance are going through a roller coaster of emotions. They won the first game, they lost the second, and then the third game they were winning until the later stages of the game once Elevate started making the comeback, and then down goes all the momentum that Obey had for them in the third game. So now as they go into this fourth game with this elimination game for Obey Alliance, everything's on the line for them. And the fact of the matter was of how long that game was doesn't help out Obey.
So what do you think Obey need to do here in order to not let that affect any of their team environment?
Just close it out a little bit cleaner, making sure that they group up for the objectives. Get all the tier 2s whenever you have that advantage. If you have 10 to 15,000 gold lead, start getting these tier 2s and Phoenixes. Don't go for the Fire Giant. Don't allow the enemy to start maneuvering around the Fire Giant to be able to contest you, to drag the game out a little bit longer. As long as you're grouped up in a 5-man setting and you're sieging it down, there's no stopping you.
Are you peeping what I'm peeping, though? The Kuang is making a return, except this time on the side of Obey Alliance.
Double Hunter with an Kuang. So we're going to see, what is this, myflin Kuang. We're going to see Delta Marine on the Neith here. Medusa is going to be for Air Cougar, so Cabrakan for Dwurst.
And this, like I said, it's going to be a pretty... things are heating up pretty heavily right now in the studios.
Obey is feeling very confident despite it being an elimination game for them.
Oh, most certainly. But now we get to find out whether or not Elevate will be progressing to tomorrow's finals. We've got the casters ready to take you guys into game.
You know, sometimes when you get beat by something, you just want to run it against the opposition. The Kuang worked out fantastic for Elevate in the odd position in the long lane over there in MichaelCheco's hands. The jungle Kuang here, I'm not convinced.
I was convinced in Obey's picks up until the Kuang Neith, because I went Cabrakan, Sylvanus, Medusa, and I said to you off air, Obey wins this game.
He did.
Just because they had the Cabrakan, they get this comp, but then they've had an Kuang and Neith. Now, Kuang, not necessarily the worst jungler in the world, doesn't have a great matchup against a Hoagie with Mark of the Croak. You can see that through stealth, first of all. Second of all, you also give it to myflin, who's not playing well. He's not playing well because he's not well. Just clear that one up before I say that.
At the same time, I mean, everybody always likes to bring up Michael Jordan's flu game, right? That's where, for your sake, Graham.
Yeah, tell me. Explain.
That's where he got very sick. He was running a fever and put up some of the best numbers of all time.
Here we go,
despite being sick.
Here we go. Kuang 20-0-3 in 12 minutes.
Listen, man, if it was anybody but myflin, I'd laugh at you. But I think myflin has it inside of him to really bring out this energy.
And when you talked off there to a few of the players too, the one thing that we're really missing though on the side of Obey is their comms of the passion that they actually bring.
Yeah.
And the leader of that is myflin. But because he's under the weather, he's not got that screaming voice that normally can spell terror for their opposition because they're having to listen to him the whole time screaming and going, "You suck."
Terra. That's how you spell terror.
Oh, God. I was like, where are you going with that? Oh, I said terror. You think your jokes are so funny, don't you? Now he's laughing off air as he just continues giggling on. Pressure in the mid lane for Elevate early on. Obviously, with Zeus combining with the Khepri, it's always going to outclear a Medusa Kuang at the start of the game. So Elevate now have some pressure towards the speed buff, but with Sylvanus starting on the right-hand side for Obey, it relieves a little bit of that pressure, meaning they don't lose their speed or their blue. Instead, they'll lose at least the mid-harpies and potentially not even the elemental. That's very lucky.
Yeah, still able to really secure some of their own nonsense. Air Cougar on this Neith. That's one of Air Cougar's original
It's a
characters.
throwback. It's definitely a throwback for him as well. The big thing that I've noticed, though, is the adjustment that Obey have made in terms of where the support has started. Most of this game, Jelly has been starting over in the dual lane alongside Air Cougar to give Air Cougar dominance in this lane. This time around, they've gone, no, let's not look for that because Checo has been left alone in this lane the whole time by Elevate.
Yeah.
Let's match that this time and try and even things up elsewhere.
Elevate going to pick up the vision here by the Gold Fury, thanks to the Oracles. And you know, when it comes down to Air Cougar on this Neith, I like this selection. This is a must win, literally. If they do not win this game, they do not go on to Sunday. Air Cougar's been playing this Neith, worst in some trouble, but a great stun saves his life. Since he was on PC known as Astro Squared, we're rewinding 3+ years here.
We are, and then when he broke out onto the box scene, really, Neith was one of his go-tos there because Neith was big in the scene at the time, had fantastic utilization of the Spirit Arrow across the map. And I think that Elevate just reminded Obey that, you know, Neith can be used at the right moment. Talking about being used at the right moment. Serqet, I like this choice when you're against an Kuang.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Kuang gets locked in order to sort of take advantage of Kenshin. The ultimate on Khepri doesn't matter if you're going to execute. Dr. L looking for the early kill. There's the kiss. The zigzag's good. And delnyy brings it home. First blood for Elevate.
And it's important for Dr. L to sit in this solo lane early on and continue to pressure the Cabrakan. Putting the Cabrakan behind makes things a lot easier for delnyy, who's just played Bellona every single game so far. Plus, he doesn't have to worry about a Neith in the late game causing issues. It's still going to be Neith doing the same thing. And at the same time, the Hoagie will outscale that. And in mid lane, it's Zeus versus Medusa. Medusa's going to sit way, way far back.
So coming back to this Kuang, I love the back and forth of picks and bans here from Obey and Elevate. Kuang gets selected to really take advantage of the fact that Kenshin's whole deal is going to be this Khepri ultimate, and the execute goes through that. Well, the next couple of picks, Dr. L comes through with the dot character, and Checo taking care of Air Cougar. Drops an ultimate, not able to get the kill.
Did like the beads out of Air Cougar there, though. Don't know why he's returning the World Weaver, though. He's not going to get anything else, but he did get the beads, making made Checo panic a little bit much there. I think he was worried about a rotation coming out because he's not got ward placement. Cougar's beads, though, very good to avoid the ricochet that was going to follow through from those suns because he was getting slowed even more during the ultimate.
Yeah, Cougar with a great fake right there. He confidently fires off the stun for the World Weaver. Just myflin has to be there, right?
And
He has to be coming.
That was a poker face more often than not of like,
Exactly.
I really have the hand here and you are dead. Forcing the beads, fantastic work. Evens things up in the dual lane.
Oh, the kiss doesn't find the invisible myflin. He was off by an inch, if that.
If he managed to do that, that would have impressed me more than seeing that on PC. Just because it's so much trickier to change your sensitivity on console like that.
And so why I love this Serqet pick this deep in the series is because of how warmed up he is. Serqet is one of the hardest gods to play in the game. When it comes down to positioning, when it comes down to aiming, when it comes down to decision making, there's so many things that can go wrong. I don't like when a player comes in cold and selects Serqet. Game number 4, what could bring this one home? Dr. L's been working fantastically on this game, on this series. I think Serqet is a fantastic character, and I couldn't be happier with the choice.
DWRST is in trouble again as leaping in goes Dr. L, but DWRST will stun him in place, which will buy him enough time to escape back to the safety of his tower. However, Elevate, while they've got 2 on this right-hand side pressure, and they've still got 3 members here not being contested at the elemental.
First blood and some attention to detail in the jungle as myflin goes ahead and picks up his own speed. Elevate find themselves in the lead by about 1,000, actually.
And it's not a bad lead for them to have at this stage of the game, too. Yeah.
4 minutes.
At 4 minutes in, they've got that first blood under their belt as well. But the general thing is, though, where is that net worth really going to? And you can see it's been spread evenly amongst Elevate. There's only Air Cougar that is in amongst the whole squad in terms of the gold income so far.
And I mean, that just comes down to the Neith selection. Neith very rarely, if ever, is going to be pushed onto the tower. Spirit Arrow, just one of the easier abilities to confirm. I mean, you shoot it down the middle and it kills them. It's very, very simple. So Air Cougar is going to be a big part of what keeps Obey relevant.
It's the only lane that actually is even, if not will get ahead, because Neith will clear a little bit quicker than that of Hou-Yi, which means he can rotate into the jungle more to farm more. Medusa in the mid lane up against Zeus, not going to have the same impact just because of what their junglers are and which one's going to make more of an impact. And having the fact that Serqet is consistently babysitting the duo, so the solo lane, Bellona, means that Cabrakan's behind too. So 2v1 in terms of winning lanes is why Elevate have that lead.
Serqet's still over there. Dwurst hasn't been able to walk off of his front porch for the entirety of this match.
No reason not to, because the moment that this Guardian starts to get defenses online is when he becomes a trick to deal with. You want him to try and invest in physical defense, which will stop you going over there anyway because of the fact that it's double physical against him.
At the same time, Serqet deals percent damage and true damage, which ignores all of it. And, well, what happens when the tremors come out? That's when you hit him with the kiss.
But also, you're drawing into the fact that Obey think you're going to keep going onto Dwurst like they are doing now, and then turn it on Sylvanus later.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of help from the Neith, but Dr. L, he'll take it. And he'll walk away. delnyy gets another kill off of another assist from the jungle.
And I don't mind them going to Bellona right now either. Getting delnyy even further ahead in this lane is really impactful for them. They could look for the tier 1 tower here. I'd like them to take it down because the window of opportunity to continue to gank the Cabrakan is coming to an end now. So this call to take this tier 1 is very smart.
Oh my goodness, a 6-minute tower. I'm going to borrow an aggroism. That's gross.
I thought you were going to say Papa Bless.
No, that's just gross.
Okay.
I love when he says gross.
Okay,
That's gross.
Dr. L, though, that's a little bit misfortunate for your position in there, but he will dance away for now. Dot damage from the Wisps as well. He's still ticking. One more hit's enough. myflin's just looking for the ultimate, but he can't get in range.
He gets out of there. Papa Bless, he's safe. Here comes the ultimate out of the Boronic, trying to make it rain, and it will. Great stun out of Dwurst and a dash out of Delta Marine. myflin hanging on by a thread, and there's pbnjellly. Dr. L can't go too deep, but Boronic can do it from a distance. There's one kill. Dwurst is able to clean up the jungler, but man, oh man, Elevate 3-1, starting this one off hot.
I'll say I thought Dr. L was pretty decent in the solo lane when I saw him play, but now that he's transferred to the jungle, he's looking better and making good use of his abilities too. The fact he died there, I'm not upset about because he confirmed extra kills for his team by trading his life for it, which puts his team in a better position overall. Meanwhile, the Hunters don't even be able to make an impact there. The whirlwind from Cougar was out early on. If you had it saved later, could have been a different story.
2,500 in the lead is Elevate at the 8-minute mark. They've already gotten a tier 1 tower on the right-hand side. This is, Elevate understand. They're like, they say, look, Obey is probably objectively the better team, but we have lightning in a bottle right now.
But this is a late game comp that Obey have with double Hunters for themselves. You still have that window to come back into it during the mid to late game. Double Hunters will shred down towers and objectives in no time.
Sure. Elevate don't have an early game comp. It's Zeus, Serqet, Hou-Yi, and Khepri.
Serqet's early game is underestimated for how strong it can actually be. She can be very strong in the early stage.
I agree, but it gets worse when you add crit and start going nuts.
That is true. It will get worse.
I mean, Zeus, you also got MichaelCheco and Boronic over there. They're going to be late game.
Checo didn't see that.
Oh, he didn't see that, but he heard that, and he felt that. Big hit out of myflin, dancing in the suns. Big beads out of Checo to save his life. Gets the stun, and he'll see you later. MichaelCheco with the win.
Tell you what, I'm going to give Checo all the credit he deserves for that because that was a fantastic little play to hold the beads as long as he did. I had a feeling he should have beads early against the World Weaver to get him away, but instead, he's like, no, I'm going to save it for the execute, so if myflin does come in, I can hit him, and he gets the ricochet shot.
You can look that up. O-U-T played, outplayed, and that play is right on next to it. delnyy jumps on, stuns, Boronic pulls the trigger, 2-0-0 for the mid lane. Gold Fury's gonna be up next. Elevate right here, meditate at Old Man Kenshin. That'll save the team for now. 5-1 are the kills, and before 10 minutes, Elevate commanding this game.
Now the Gold Fury goes down and 2 Hunters come in to try and clean up what Elevate have left over. One of them dies, one revived, but Dr. L will not live long unless he can escape with the ambush.
He jumps away, and Kenshin trying to body block for his Hunter. MichaelCheco and his dual lane partner still on the retreat. And that's going to be good exit. Elevate lose 1 for the Gold Fury.
Lose a purple buff as well, and not really going to lose much else anywhere else on the map, because obviously in the mid lane you've got delnyy there and the Bellona once again. Just going to be able to weather the storm there as well. Obey look back at that fight in the duo lane, and that's where that Gold Fury came from.
Yeah, no. I mean, that and to be fair, That was an excellent scenario for Obey. You have to make that gank 100 times out of 100. You can't predict that MichaelCheco is going to have a highlight reel play, and if you ever become too scared because you think you're going to get outplayed, that's when you start playing yourself.
And the worst thing is to see World Weavers used defensively like that to get team out of a dangerous situation. The moment that starts is to realize you're on the back foot, because you want the Neith ultimates to be utilized to help pick up kills, not to defend teammates on the other half of the world.
Obey now grouped up as 3, looking at Elevate as they're invading their own blue buff, but Dr. L over the wall, and he'll be safe one more time.
The call for Obey to group up is good, but they've got to be careful of Boronic on the Zeus, because Boronic Zeus will cause them a lot of problems, especially when the ultimate's up.
Yeah, there comes Jelly using the ultimate defensively one more time. So many ultimates have been used in the past couple of minutes just defensively by Obey.
Doctor's a little bit too over-aggressive there. I like the idea of trying to keep busy and keep them interested in him for a second or two while the rest of his team escapes.
Yeah.
But it always opens up that window where you could get picked for nothing when you could just left as well.
That's fair. But hindsight 2020, and right now he's looking clean.
Clean for now with just 1 death to his name. 4 assists isn't too bad for himself. I know he would have liked some of those kills, but I'm not disappointed with where those kills have gone elsewhere too. He gave 2 across to delnyy on that Bellona, which is very helpful up against that Cabrakan, and then Zeus getting fed in the mid lane. I'm not going to be too upset about that at any stage of a game.
With that said, I heard him. Dr. L said, if I don't get the next kill, I'm AFK in a base. I might be making that up.
I was going to say, I don't know how you heard him from this long with a headset on too.
You know what? Have you heard these console players? I've heard a lot from this far away with a headset on.
I wouldn't be surprised if he went to come to Elevate on the next team fight, and he does actually say that if he doesn't get a kill.
Dr. L having some fun here, but I think the best fun is making it to tomorrow. Elevate in a fantastic spot to do just that. Up 2-1 against Obey Alliance, the defending world champions.
So they'll knock out the world champions if Elevate manage to take this game, but not only that, they'll have to face their scrim partners in Elevate. Hold that fort, Jelly's in trouble again.
Yeah, here's help from Delta Marine. Big ultimate out of the mid lane. Now, people are going to knock me and say, big ultimate, he didn't hit anything. It doesn't matter. That's a zoning ultimate. It prevents Elevate from coming down that corridor and starting a big fight.
And if they do come down that corridor, then they're going to get 4-man petrified, which will force beads, or just let them eat ridiculous amounts of damage. Elevate, though, knowing Petrify is down, I like the call to go for the Portal Demon.
Exactly. Elevate, they can't get the kill, so you know what? Let them eat cake. They're just going to go ahead and pick up the Portal Demon.
They're going for the Portal Demon, but they really want Jelly instead. Portal Demon's still alive. Will Weaver coming in as well onto Bionic, but already Jelly's dead. The Portal Demon will follow too, and that goes to Elevate as well.
Dwarfs try to snatch it away by way of Tremors. Can't find it with the down B. Here comes Kenshin now trying to help things out. Abduct is strong. Dwarfs hanging on. ElevateDoctorL picks up the kill for lucky number 7. Jumping on top. Air Cougar, his way to the tower and is blocked by MichaelCheco. He puts him down 2-0-0 for the Hunter.
It's all going Pete Tong for Obey right now. Nothing is going right in this game for them whatsoever. They go towards the Portal Demon to defend, and instead of defending the Portal Demon, they lose 4 lives in that engagement. The Portal Demon itself and a tier 1 tower in mid lane. Elevate are looking to close this set out already before the 20-minute mark.
Listen, I said it before. Elevate realized they have lightning in a bottle. Whether it's because myflin is sick or because Elevate just came back from a 15,000 gold deficit to take game number 3, there's something in the veins of the Mountain Squad right now. And they realize this is the shot to win. If this goes to 5, it might be Obey's.
What a pull!
Nice snatch back.
But it's not enough to deny delnyy from getting away as well. He was a little bit greedy going for that speed buff, but Obey managed to pick it up. I love the pull from Jelly. It's just a shame they couldn't get any more out of it.
What did you mean coming up Pete Tong? That's what I don't get.
Pete Tong?
Yeah.
Wrong.
So what's the story behind it? I don't know that one.
Pete Tong rhymes. It's Cockney rhyming slang.
Oh, it's just you being English.
Yeah, pretty much. Veronica in the mid lane, he's not English, but he is dead.
Yeah, I gotta put some English on that one. That's a phrase y'all don't use. Welcome to America. 3 kills for Obey. Well, Elevate have 8.
Well, I mean, that'd be really weird. Imagine if there was something called American on the ball, and you'd be like, oh, I'm going to put some American on it. You're never going to say that.
Well, it's because American is a mouthful.
This is because America sucks.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it. I said it on console. I said it on console as well.
You can't just say that right now. Elevate can't just walk in to Obey like that.
I can say that. I've got a green card and an American wife. It's fine. And it's my birthday, so that's fine. I get 1B. But meanwhile, Checo, he's not going to just get 1. He's going for 2 as he looks towards Delta Marine.
Yeah, it's going to be Beads out of the Hunter over there playing in the mid lane. Hindu's going to laugh his way to the bank, and Elevate are going to laugh their way through this team fight. They have control over the map at the moment, are in the southwestern quadrant, and oBe trying to bite on back.
Back in Game 1, we talked about motivation in Game 2 and how important Game 2 was to get a stable base and either find the win, which will give you the motivational boost for the Game 3.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Elevate did. But because of the way the last game went and how long it went on for, whoever lost that game was going to be...
Oh, the blink forward. The Serqet gets chased out, but that was a nice, valiant effort. IamDwurst trying to come around on the back end, but he's controlled. He gets walked away from by the Khepri, Delta Marine, Hammer Bros.
Look at where the rest of oBe are, though. What? They're all so deep, and
They're
there's
backing.
3 members of oBe. They're like, nah, I'm not involved in this. I don't have the health. I don't have the mana. Whatever it is, that should not have been a call from oBe to go in.
Yeah, no, that was
awkward.
That was really rough. oBe's in their head. And I know a lot of people are going to sit back if Elevate wind up making it to the finals tomorrow.
And go, what if MiFlin was well?
And you know what? MiFlin being well would be a better shot. But I don't think that Elevate are being this successful because the jungler is underperforming. I think Elevate are rising to the occasion, and they're saying, look at us go.
They've practiced, they've come out with compositions that oBe weren't necessarily ready for. Yeah, they thought they were expecting some jank coming out, and that's exactly what we potentially got out of Elevate today. But is it jank when it works?
Oh, man.
Is it not meta?
I mean, listen. Chang'e Jungle was a joke until now it's staple off of one game.
Sure.
One game.
Guardians in the solo lane was a joke until multiple games and it happened and it worked.
But it's just, this is
Hunters in the mid lane was a joke until it kept winning.
That's what I'm saying. And right now, Season 4, here we are in 2017. This is the most malleable that Smite has ever been. You can put virtually any god of the battlefield in a number of different positions.
As long as you play to the advantages of the comp you draft, and that's always going to be the key.
Balance your equation. Make sure you've got crowd control, structure damage, AoE damage, and single target. If you're able to balance that out, you're totally fine.
Love what DrL is doing here on this right-hand side. He's not necessarily all after Cougar. What he's also doing is making sure there's no rotation out of Delta Marine, so Checo can go in. Then he can come over the wall and collapse, knowing there's no one here to support.
And DrL picks up the kill off the assist from the Hunter. MiFlin wrapping around the back, hits both, but the ultimate was saved. Love the patience and decision-making out of DrL. Nice zigzag, saves the life of the jungler.
Will clean up the kill. Meanwhile, on the backside, Checo still too far forward on his own. Trying to buy time, could have just jumped away and just held there for a second. Elevate, though, on the right-hand side are doing the Portal Demon as this is going on. It only just spawned, though, so they were hovering, waiting for this opportunity to try and make it worthwhile. 1 for 2 exchange, but if the Portal Demon goes down, Elevate still win.
It's just Jelly here. Here comes MiFlin. Is it enough? Don't think so. He gets jumped on, and Beads used. Hammer Bros gonna come down. 10%, 0. Oboronic on top, 4-2-2.
As a Sylvanus, you don't enjoy being in this moment whatsoever, just being run down like a dog, and there's nothing you can do about it. A couple of roots, a couple of sustains won't be enough as a bludgeon from delnyy will pick up the kill.
Big plays coming out from Elevate across the board. Delta Marine will pick up a tier 1 tower on the left for what it's worth. But it's worth exactly, it's worth exactly 500 gold. I'll tell you what it's worth. Meanwhile, oBe trailing by a lot more than that. About 7K in the lead is Elevate.
It's a good, comfortable position. Not just comfortable, but a decent lead, honestly. Especially with the position of how the map is right now. With tier 2 towers still remaining for Elevate, there's more gold available to them. They should start looking to turn their attention to the Fire Giant earlier than they probably would have last couple of games. This game, I think it's time to just force a fight at the fire.
This is, that's been the story for Elevate this entire game right here. They have the momentum, they have the power, they have the raw lead. Just force it. They have been doing so, and that's what's been allowing them to be so successful.
Next up on the list, though, for oBe is pretty much try and hang on, because they do, like I said, they have a late game composition, double Hunters, and of course now Kuang, that will make an impact as the game goes on, but they have to get through this early storm that Elevate keep bringing to them. The storm, they're in the eye of it right now, and technically they could just get destroyed or come out the other side not as bad off as they would have been if this continues.
Oh, Air Cougar getting chased around his own jungle by DrL. No vision available for him either. He's going to walk into the assassin. He's going to walk right into him. He's going to walk right into him.
He's got to defend tier 2, and he's got to defend the tier 1 on the left. Checo's going to be able to push this. All DoctorL's doing here, he's not farming.
Playing goalkeeper.
But he's playing goalie. He's making sure that they have to take the long way around to get to this lane, and when he does take the long way around, he's still going to be there to help take down the tier 1. Good place from Elevate. Let's just abuse the map a little bit. Keep the pressure on.
And that wonderful play by DoctorL didn't hit any of his abilities. Just being in the right spot, maintaining the zone, and forcing Air Cougar out by the threat of what could happen. Blink forward, reads the backflip, finds the zigzag and the crowd control, and there's MichaelCheco to shut down the exit. Air Cougar's not going to die here, but a lot of his options are gone. oBe are in a great spot, though, to take advantage. Blink forward, Jelly. Can he? Ooh,
he wanted DoctorL. He wanted the Doctor and he can't find him. Instead, he's going to deal with the teleport out of Bellona. Eagles Rally still available for delnyy to get away if he got collapsed on, so it's not all doom and gloom just yet there. Elevate will be disappointed they don't get the kill on Neith then. It's very telegraphed what Neith's going to do. They telegraphed the backflip. The beads combination, they did push him away with the Serqet ultimate, but it was away from the Suns, and that meant that Cougar lived.
At the same time, I think Elevate has been playing relatively responsibly, and I think that the goal was the tower and the Neith was a cherry, and right now they're really not looking for dessert.
Wow, they are looking for dessert right now. At least they're looking for a starter, which is the Gold Furies. They start that one up. Jelly on the front line trying to peel for his team yet again. Meanwhile, it's the back line under pressure from delnyy this time round once again. Cougar getting spanked a little bit in the back, and he's having to group up in the same position as Delta Marine. You don't want two together, but you're both playing Hunters. You both want the same position.
Gold Fury, 35%, 25% HP. There's going to be some trouble as Delta Marine comes around from the front side. Elevate still looking for the fight. delnyy relatively lower than he'd like, still fighting safety on the rear end. This is MichaelCheco trying to do what he can. Gets snatched, unfortunately. Bad positioning by the Hunter, but Dwurst is gone before he makes an impact. DoctorL on top. 4th kill for the jungler.
Last Gold Fury, same thing. Dwurst goes in, nobody else follows up. myflin dips in, has to dip out again. No, delny's not allowing that to happen. myflin's been forced completely out as the Gold Fury goes to Elevate.
22 minutes on the clock, and Elevate are playing like it's 45. Chasing down oBe. But Hammer's going to miss out of the long laner, but still looking for it. Zigzag off the mark. myflin still able to look for it and finds it. The turnaround kill from the under-the-weather jungler. He's above the opposition, looking for the secondary.
Well, not going to find it though, but Checo got him really low there. Still going to dive in with his team, knowing delny's in the forefront. Ricochet!
Beautiful.
Only the single that time. If all 3 hit, that could have been lights out for Air Cougar. It's lights out for the red buffers. That's given over to oBoronic.
I love how Elevate right now are, you ask for them to force stuff. They've got a 10K gold lead. They're grouping up as 5, just taking the red buff, saying, I dare you.
I feel that comp has got pretty much an answer to everything that oBe has drafted this game, especially with the Mark of the Crow coming out from Hoyi to deal with that of myflin. We've not seen much use of it yet, but it will always be something that they can save in the pocket. Checo, calm down.
He's going to go for it,
calm down.
He's going to go for it. He's got a wave of minions. He might have made the wrong choice.
No, he's going to get out because I think he could have won that fight. That's why Cougar had to back away as well. oBoronic coming around the back. He's going to step in a ward. Delta Marine will be safe, but will Cougs?
Oh my goodness, what an absolute...
Will Cougs?
Oh, wait for it.
Got
Aegis.
Out. Detonate. Saved by the Aegis coming out from Air Cougar just in time.
Oh man, what an absolute mad lad. Yeah?
No.
Yeah?
No.
I gotta say, mad lad, right?
Mad lad.
Mad lad.
I've never said that one.
Yes, you have.
I don't think I've ever said that before.
In your 72 years of life, you've never said mad lad?
Not together, no. I may have said mad a couple of times, I may have said lad a couple of times, but I don't think I've ever said mad lad.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that just seems really tongue twisty. It's not nice.
That's like one of the more English phrases I know.
It's not an English phrase. You just made it up.
That is not true.
That's like saying hot dogs is a phrase that I've heard from you, which means it's a New York phrase.
I see you trying to do that, and it's not gonna work, birthday man.
Mad lad.
Yeah.
Did I just say a Will? No, I didn't. I thought I saw a Will Weaver coming through at the end there, but Paul Demon started by Elevate again, and this is the moment oBe needs to just all in. They have to make something happen.
I mean, it's too late. Ooh, Kiss missed off the money. Not going to find the crowd control, but myflin already low enough to find his death.
Jelly's
number
dead.
17, number 18, MichaelCheco out of control. 5-1-4 over the wall looking for the Air Cougar. DoctorL has the zigzag, has the basics, has the ultimate, and Air Cougar, well, he got nothing. That's another one for the jungler. 5, 3, and 10.
Tell you what, you gave a lot of credit to MichaelCheco this set. I think he had a fantastic performance, but for me, Dr. L has put Elevate in the finals with this performance today. Kenshin's had some good plays, but now and again made a mistake. Boronic's still been Boronic, and you can't forget that. But Dr. L has shown up here as Delta Marine will find his way back to base.
Got him with the horn. Boronik waits it out with the Aegis, hangs on, and just bam, bam. As soon as it's ready, takes him out. Love it.
Now, the problem for Elevate is they're going to go into the finals tomorrow if they win this game, which it looks like it's in the bag as it stands right now, with IamDwurst going down too. But they're going to have to face Astral Authority, and they are scrim partners. So Astral know these shenanigans that Elevate will try and pull out, and will try and have answers
Well,
for
see,
them.
that's the beauty of what I think Elevate brings to the table, is that it's not... Remember last year, the Dignitas, the Hog Bacchus invade your stuff?
Yeah.
That's a strategy that works once. The cheese, quote-unquote, that Elevate brings, Kuang in the long lane, Kel, Hob, that's not cheese in the sense that, well, it works until your opponent knows it's coming. It's just an alternative strategy, and that's why I think that Elevate can even have a shot in the finals. At the end of the day, we'll see what happens.
Well, they're defeating the world champions right now. Let's just put that on paper. They're world
up 16K.
champions. Obey, what events have they really lost? Like, they've always been in the finals of pretty much every console match that I can remember.
And what I love about it is that Elevate, sure, this one looks easy, but the last one was a long, hard, arduous fight.
And I want to talk about, the fact that it does influence, those long games do affect the mindset of a team. When you lose those games, it's so disheartening.
Yeah.
When you think about you play your games at home, and if you have a 60-minute game that's back and forth and you come out on the losing end, these guys had to queue up again immediately and play the same team again after just having that heartbreak. Now you've got to try and pick yourself up, start over again in game one, and Elevate have not allowed them to do that.
Exactly. It's just, 17,006 gold in the lead. Elevate find themselves wave to wave. Obey are going to do what they can to shove up the right-hand side, but ultimately, Elevate, this game is theirs to lose. With this much lead here, Graham, what does Obey need to do to really snatch this one away?
So the biggest thing that Elevate have here is delny's Bellona. If you notice, he's gone for full physical protection, now just building into magical protection too. He's causing a lot of issues for these hunters to get any damage off, because as a hunter player, you kind of just have to hit what's presented to you in front of you. Problem is, Bellona's got Nemean Lion. If you want to take out the Bellona from the front side, then that means you're going to get your hunters free. But by investing into a Bellona, it can feel very awkward when you've still got the likes of a Serqet and a Zeus and a Ho-Yi that are going to be wailing on you at the same time. It's a tricky business for them to be in. I'd like to see the hunters split in these engagements a little bit more. They both want the same positioning, which is the awkward thing, as always. They've got the same sort of range, the same sort of abilities coming out. They're both pretty heavily ability-based too, and that's where they're struggling.
And delnyy by himself in the mid lane, going to be dealt with by the two magical dealers.
And if you chain lightning like that, because your hunters are on top of each other, you lose a Phoenix.
Oh
there you go.
Goodness. A single ability. And Elevate are able to take out the left side Phoenix. I do want to bring home to the folks watching, this is exactly the type of lead that Obey had last game.
That was a good ult. That was a really good ult from Jelly, but the bad news is Elevate were ready for it, and immediately they collapse in. The ult from Checo just to zone away. Marine's low, and Dr. L smelt it. He's not going to find the one who dealt it, but he will find the Sylvanus.
And either way, Boronik is going to light that gas on fire. Air Cougar trying to find the back end. He's going to get taken care of. Ladies and gentlemen, Elevate, are they going to go for it?
No, they're not. It could be the safety factor
They gotta play
again.
it safe.
We've heard
They
their
gotta
comms
play it
today,
safe.
and they're all like, no, no, no. Let's just take it calm and steady. They've taken Phoenix, taken middle. Now they'll take the right. This pretty much puts it to bed unless we see the almost impossible.
3 Firebirds down. Obey, the defending world champions. They can do nothing but watch. delnyy picks up one, and that's going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, Elevate paved the way to Sunday. They're going to finals to take on Astral Authority.
I expected a good performance today, a good match between Elevate and Obey, but I did not expect to see Elevate do what they just did.
Wow.
It was fantastic from minute one. They came in with picks and bans. They had strategies in place. Yes, they lose game one, but they reassess, regroup for game two, and take 3 in a row.
We got to see that team grow in front of our eyes. They changed their strategy in game number 2 to take the win. Game number 3 coming back from such a large deficit.
Yep.
They had to adjust. We broke it down a little bit in the game, how The MichaelCheco strategy was discovered. They've changed it up with the Morrigan. They made so many adaptations. Just an incredible performance coming out from the guys on Elevate, making sure to bring home the win.
Not much more to say. Dr. L for me was lights out, the best player in that set overall. Carrying them through to the finals as long with the team as well. Compositions really came into the forefront from them there. Commiserations to Obey though. Obviously with myflin being sick, that's unfortunate, but that's the world of Smite.
Listen, man, no Johns. I do want to say to anybody at home, Elevate didn't win because myflin was sick. Elevate won this game. You pointed out Dr. L. I pointed out MichaelCheco. Kenshin, silent but deadly, absolutely crushing it from the support role. And the mid laner oBoronic still bringing it home.
As
you can look
always.
at all 5 of these players and say that that's why they won. And that's why Elevate are heading into the finals, because they don't depend on 1, 2, or 3 players. It's a unit. And that's what Smite's about.
And that's exactly why we get to see Astral Authority up against Elevate tomorrow now. Scrim partners as well. That's going to be exciting to see how these two teams play out.
Crazy set, crazy match. Honestly, just a pleasure to be able to watch these two go head to head. We're going to break down game number 4 a little bit more back at the desk.
And a big upset coming through the way of Elevate, actually finding the set victory over Obey Alliance. And I can't even begin to describe how much excitement is probably running through those players right now.
Absolutely. They just won a best of 5 set against the world defending champions out of Obey Alliance. And man, just every player specifically out of Elevate, but you got to highlight MichaelCheco here, honestly.
You have to highlight MichaelCheco. This man's was absolutely unstoppable all day long today. Every single play that he made and the timing, his execution, all of it was just on point. And right here, a perfect example of how he was able to just utilize every single bit of his God Kit to the fullest of its capabilities.
Soloing out myflin around the 9-minute mark there. Even a lot of trash talking that I heard in the arena there afterwards by Kenshin, the support player, trying to get in the mindset still against an Obey Alliance, and it totally seemed like a different team out of Obey Alliance. You know, going for this Kuang and the Neith in the last stage of the picks and bans is not something that Obey is used to doing.
And you can no longer say by any means that Checo is a cheese-only kind of player. Sure, we've seen the hell out of this guy. We've seen the Kuang now, but the Hu-Yi and the Medusa, he's on fire.
Well, absolutely. You know, he definitely forced the issue by making sure that he got the Aussie. He also got the Executioner. So with these items, he was able to, you know, penetrate the defenses. That's what it's all about.
It's always really crucial for your Hunter player to show up big on these LAN events, and that's exactly what Checo was able to do. But of course, it wasn't a one-man show all the way through. As much props as we have to give Checo, we also had to provide to the rest of his squad. Kenshin, Dr. L, oBoronic, delnyy, they were all phenomenal players today, and that's really the team execution that came together and helped them secure their 3-1 victory over the entirety of Obey.
Absolutely. Dr. L did a great job in the early stages of the game, focusing out IamDwurst, sitting in that lane a little bit longer than IamDwurst expected to allow delnyy to get a really good, comfortable start. Forced out some pressure against this Cabrakan solo, even finding the kill later on.
He even got that cheeky little 1v1 against Delta Marine towards the end in the mid lane, right behind the tier 1 towers section, and we saw oBoronic actually picking up the kill. I just thought that was absolutely incredible. You could really tell that the momentum was on the side of Elevate, and they ran with it the whole way through off of their Game 3 victory.
Absolutely. Once they lost the Game 1, they changed their strategies in Game 2, and everything was just smooth sailing from there.
I wouldn't call it necessarily smooth sailing. The game number 3 wasn't as clean cut as probably as either team would have wanted it, but the fact that Elevate was able to combat and find their way back into this set with the 2-1 lead, I think that's what makes all the difference for these kinds of players in the arena. There's so much shouting and noise going on the entire time. You can hear Kenshin trash talking, Checo trash talking, and it's just awesome hearing the box guys go at it.
Absolutely. Now it's going to be Elevate against Astral Authority tomorrow in another epic set.
And that should be an exciting one indeed. But before we get any further into the brackets for this weekend, let's see what Dr. L has to say alongside F.
Thanks a lot, Taco and Toli. And as she said, I'm standing here next to the jungler, Dr. L. First of all, congratulations on your win. You guys looked absolutely phenomenal out there. You know, I actually wound up asking this question 2 days in a row. It's going to kill me. I hate it. But after a 4-game set like that, how do you feel?
I want to go to sleep. The amount of focus that you need for these type of games at LAN is you can't really describe it. You have to experience it to really understand the gratitude of it.
And at the same time, I'm gonna ask you specifically game number 3. That
Yep.
was a battle of attrition.
Yeah, that
what
was
was going through your mind?
That was probably the toughest game I've ever been in. Because I was Morgan that game. There's so many things I had to think about like, so in the mid game I turned to Scylla, so he couldn't really ult in the engagements. And I think they just really couldn't end the game because they couldn't really initiate on us, and we could just counter engage with the double assassins behind them all the time.
That's a fantastic composition. It does one thing, and it does one thing very well. You get ahead, and you topple the enemy. Talking to some of the people, that was the first time y'all were ever behind with that composition.
Yep.
What's it like learning on the fly how to dig your way out?
It was interesting. We've never been in that position before because usually we get ahead really easily with the double Neith ults to Checo, and we usually don't have any problems. But that game we had to improvise a bit on what ult I had to choose. Because before I could just switch to a soul laner and we could just keep going in and going in.
Right.
But that I had to switch to the Delta Ring because he was like so big, he was doing so much damage. So I just had to try to focus him out and turn to him and make sure he can ult.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the big deals about you guys in game number 3. And then game number 4 seemed to come really easy. Was that because you kind of did the impossible in game 3, or was there something else that worked?
I think that was the game that won the set. I think whoever won that was going to win the next game just because of how long it was. Like, to lose a 15-minute game, it's really demoralizing.
Yeah, the momentum coming into that one is really rough. And you guys looked so strong. Who's the one in comms that's really making the end call? Who's your shot caller?
Kenshin for sure. He always wants to make sure that we don't do anything stupid and throw the game away like we used to sometimes. But yeah, we've gotten a lot better at that.
Yeah, that was going to be my biggest point, is that the amount of discipline and responsibility that you guys exert in games is completely different than what you guys used to look like. And also part of the reason why you guys take home the win. How was that? What do you think was the biggest change for you in that direction?
I think we just, in scrims, we just decided to like stay together and work throughout the issues and not get too angry when we lose games, and we learn, and we just keep learning, and we're still learning. And I think that's a really good team atmosphere that we have. And
one of the nice things about learning is that you already have your team identity solidified. A lot of times teams come together and they try to find, are we better late game, are we better early game? You guys have your own world with MichaelCheco playing what he does or whatever he wants. Talk to me a little bit about having a hunter that can play anything he wants.
Yeah, Checo might be the most dynamic player I've ever played with or against. He has, like, you haven't even seen like half his god play yet. He has so many different things he can use, and you might see them tomorrow.
And it all works with the rest of the team, which is even more impressive. It's one thing to take an oddball pick out in the long lane, but it's another thing completely to make it work and synergize with the rest of the team. How does that really work from the big picture? You guys all come together and just throw your god pools down and see what you can make up?
Yeah, well, usually someone is feeling something or we think something's good against a certain team comp, and we just go with it.
It certainly completely worked out. Next match tomorrow, you'll be taking on Astral Authority. That's your scrim partner, so you know a little bit about their tricks. They know yours. Is that going to help or hurt you?
I think it'll help us because we still have some other things that they haven't seen. So
that's fun stuff. Now, Astral Authority, I think, is de facto they look like one of the best teams here.
Yeah, of course.
Are you worried about them, or do you think that you can take them like you took Obey?
I'm not worried, but I respect them, obviously. They're number 1 seed. They've only lost 1 game. But yeah, we can easily beat them if we play like we did today. Sure.
I certainly agree with that. If you guys look like you did today, Sunday will be a pleasure to watch. One more time, congratulations on your win. This is Dr. L, Jungler for Elevate. Back to you.
And again, just a massive congratulations to Elevate for securing that 3-1 victory over Obey Alliance. I'm sure that back at home, all the fans for Team Elevate are definitely excited. And of course, with Elevate securing the victory over Obey, that does mean, like F. mentioned, they will be progressing to tomorrow's best of 5 match against Astral Authority.
2 scrim partners going at it. We're going to see some really spicy picks and bans for tomorrow, so make sure you don't miss it. We're going to start things off first with the AVGL set, and then immediately after that will be your console match.
And I know that everybody's anticipating to see this console matchup between Astral Authority and Elevate, but the AVGL one should be very spicy all the same. But of course, Back at home, you guys can make sure to keep in tune with all of the Smite action. Make sure that you're getting in your votes on that season ticket if you do have it available to you for the 2 times fantasy points weekend that we have running all weekend long. It will be ending tomorrow on Sunday, so this is your last opportunity really, is today and tomorrow, to play those games with your friends and earn double the fantasy points.
I know what I'm doing immediately after this cast. Getting some more FP. Because, you know, you can never have enough fantasy points.
You love just farming all the little border and the numbers, and everybody's impressed, like, what the hell is this guy doing all the time? Then they realize that we have boosters that we just use nonstop. But like I mentioned, guys, it's been an awesome day here at the studios. It's been really phenomenal getting to watch all of these players come together and battle it off against each other. And I know that everybody here is more than excited to see how this is going to ultimately end up for Astral Authority or Elevate in tomorrow's finals match-off. So make sure that you tune in again tomorrow to check all of that out. And for everybody here at the studios, have a good night.